Wow, you're welcome to yet another very powerful session. The question we're dealing with today is something I believe troubles the heart of every business person. You know, this is a question that troubles the heart of an average person going into business. The idea here is competition is something that you cannot overrule. Competition is something that you can't rule out as long as you are in business. You know, sorry, I'm having a little challenge here. Competition is something that you can't take away as long as you want to be in business. But the question right here is asking, how do we ensure that we are in business and the big brands don't swallow us up, which is something that happens. So I'm going to be helping us take a deep look at this today, because if you really don't handle this properly, all of your investments into your business could go down the drain. You know, business, according to Ubon King, he will always say business is a war and you must treat it like that. Sometimes in conversations with people, I tell them the level of competition that goes on in a business environment is far more than what you see in election. You know, sometimes the level of competition that happens in a business environment is higher than what you see in some presidential elections, especially because of the fact that business is a bit coded. It's not an open war. It's not an open war. So a lot happens on the ground. A lot happens on the ground. So if you want to come into an industry, of course, one of the biggest lies you will tell yourself is that my business or my idea is so innovative, I don't have competitors. That is a big lie. Let me show my face a little bit. That's a big lie for you to think that your business or your idea is so innovative that you don't have competitors. Maybe I just deal with that issue of competitors a little bit. Let me define it better. Whatever problem you're coming into an industry to solve, the question you must ask yourself is, how has these people been solving the same problem? Whatever way they have been solving the same problem is competing with you. In other words, something else that they can spend their money on, and it will give them the same, sometimes not even equal the same level of comfort, but it can at least help them navigate the challenge that your product or service is coming to also help them deal with. So however they have been managing the same discomforts before you come on board, it's a competition to you. So if you come into in fact, if you see it before investors and they say, tell us a little bit about your competitors, and you proudly say, I don't have a competition or I don't have competitors, they just put you in a category of someone who's not done his research or who's not done his homework concerning the industry he's coming into. But before I go ahead to share all of these, we have some products that we would like you to take advantage of. We have some books and we even have one coming. We'll just do a quick rundown on them. These are two of the books. The link to accessing them is currently out there on the screen. Then this is the other one, Funding Your Business Idea. I know funding is a key thing for business owners, either for expansion or those with innovative ideas, thinking about how to source funding to start. We dealt a lot on this yesterday. Then there is one coming for job seeker. That one is hitting the bookshops on the 1st of March by God's grace. It's called Get Employed. But for you to be on a waiting list, to be among those that will get it as it hits, just follow the link as you can see on the screen. Follow the link as you can see on the slide, bit.ly/TSSWP. That's our WhatsApp group. It takes you to us. You just talk to us on WhatsApp. Either you want to pay ahead for the book or you want to wait for it to come, but we just want to have people on the waiting list for the book for those who are seeking employment. We notice that we've been too tilted to helping people build businesses. But we must come to the terms of the fact that not everybody can start a business from the scratch. We all need to go through that educational system of apprenticeship. And one of those that calls paid salary job as apprenticeship with salary. So you must go into a paid job, go through the process, learn the ropes. But my only advice is go there as a student. And while you get into school as a student, you also anticipate graduation dates. So my suggestion is get employed by the very day you start in your job, also pen down the day you're resigning. So that gives you a short time to put in all of the efforts, learn everything you need to learn, and get into the next phase of your life. That's very important. So right now, let's get back to our topic for today. So we have a few suggestions that we think will help you navigate this process. Remember, if you are yet to join the Trescaro tribe, we are open to admit new entrants. We are doing tremendously with ourselves already, and those that are there have countless results already coming their way. So if you are not yet there, do your best to join us. But our first tip to dealing with this question today, let me put back the question online there. Our first tip to dealing with this question today is first take time to understand the industry. Take time to understand the industry. Before I even go into that, let me read something to us. Let me read something to us here. Because sometimes, okay, I'll do that at the end of as we tilt towards the end of it. But take time to understand the industry. Your understanding of the industry is one sure way to position yourself to navigating this challenge that is eminent. It is an eminent challenge. Then, as you begin to understand the industry, segment the market and study each segment in depth. Segment the market and study each segment in depth independently. Study each segment of the market in depth. Then what you want to do after such study is to niche down to that unsatisfied segment of the market. Niche down to that unsatisfied segment of the market. I said something yesterday when we were talking about sourcing funding, and we talked about who says the idea is innovative, who says it's powerful, and all of that. And we talked about the fact that when you are serving a market and you serve that market and the market is not large enough, you want to focus on the segment that is dissatisfied. You want to come up with an innovation that's totally different from what's existing in the market. But if the market size the market itself is large, you will come into the market with exactly what is already existing. Because there's a huge gap between demand and supply, your own supply can still get demand for itself. So then you can come, but now you're coming into an industry. There is already a big brand there. You need to be able to niche down to that unsatisfied segment of the market. Then another thing you must do is there is what is called your customer avatar, where you take time to describe one person, that one person that must buy your products. When you spend time designing what is called your customer avatar, you would have understood who this exact person is. You would have understood who this exact person is. You will not necessarily be building a product or a service that serves their general need. You'll be niching down to that somewhat unspoken desire. The very first purpose of a shoe when a shoe was created was to preserve our legs. But today, if you are building shoe and you tell yourself at least it can protect their legs, you're just off track. People no longer buy shoes for just the purpose of protecting their legs. They buy shoes for aesthetics. They buy shoes now for fashion. So you must become trendy. If you don't understand this about the exact person, because my next tip is that you must get so personal in satisfying that segment that they become a raving fans for your brand. Get so personal. Get so personal. I was going to talk about this story because sometimes the fact that an organization has money doesn't necessarily mean they can take over the market. I've heard this before, but I decided to go look for it and I'm going to read it to you. This was a publication of November 14th, 2017, where Dangote Flowers Mill sold their own noodle plants to a smaller brand. I'll read. It said Dangote Flour Mills majority owned by African richest man Aliko Dangote has said it wanted to quit the noodles business to focus on flour and pasta production. Analyst says that Nigeria's noodle market is fiercely competitive and the United, with a market share of around 70%, is seeking to consolidate the sector. So a brand that you never know of, that doesn't necessarily have the deep pockets, bought over Dangote pasta, bought over Dangote noodles. So it is possible if you do your homework properly. If you do your homework properly, and you must study about the competition in business. Take time to look at some brands in diverse industries. Take time to look at the prominent brands, how they have faded away, how some others have come on board, what happened, what transpired. I said earlier on that business is a war zone. You must go there. That's the essence of strategy. In fact, the word strategy did not come from the business environment, it comes from a military environment. We begin to adopt it as it comes to business and even life in itself. In having to strategize, you need to know a lot. The big brand will rather offer to buy you over when they see that fighting you is impossible. When they see that fighting you is impossible, they'll rather offer to buy you. Do you know the reason why Facebook had to buy WhatsApp? Not because they know what to do with it, but they just needed that competition to get off the market. The same reason they had to buy Instagram. Because everything that these guys are doing, they can choose to do on Facebook. But it is better that when we do it, that competitor outside, let's take them out. Let them come inside. So today, when you pay WhatsApp, you're paying Facebook. When you pay Instagram, you are paying Facebook. Ordinarily, these are brands that they know that have the capacity to take them down or take a large chunk of their clients. Then another thing you must do, if your product or your service you're trying to come into the market with is innovative enough, you may want to consider patenting it. The reason I insist on whether it's innovative or unique is the fact that you cannot patent a kind of service that is already in existence. For you to be able to qualify to patent something, it has to be a new innovation that had never existed. So when you patent it, at least a patent right, I know in an average country gives you rights to that product or services for at least 20 years. So that helps curtails competition. But when you come in and modifying an existing product or services or creating something a bit different from something that is existing, you can't patent it. You just have to follow some of the things that we have been sharing since. Then my other advice to you is that be ready to sell and move on if that becomes the option. If that becomes the option, be ready to sell and move on. You know, there was Stripe, there was other payment platforms in the world, but the guys behind Paystack decided to build Paystack and focus on Nigeria. Even though all of the other payment platforms will tell you we are a global payment platform, but someone built something, understood the niche called Nigeria, understood our peculiar challenges, and put Paystack in our hands. He understands that we will not have all of the energy to go through all of the process of integration. So he made it possible for you to just create a link in split seconds and voila, send out the link and collect money. The same Stripe, who had always envied them, loved them, supported them, end up buying them over for $200 million. So don't feel like a loser if you have to sell off. Please sell off. Just negotiate the terms. Get your legal team to be on ground. Negotiate the term in a way that it favors you. I understand that Paystack is being sold, but they still operate almost independently until, of course, it's going to take some time for that massive integration. And who says the brains behind Paystack will not remain part of the management teams of the existing company? I remember the news that came out then was that a guy who built WhatsApp sold WhatsApp for a certain amount and had to remain a part of the Facebook family. Whether it's still there today or not, I can't tell, but that's how it works. Business is fierce. Business is fierce and it's competitive. It's a war zone and you must face it with that mindset. I think with these few points of mine, I've been able to steer you along the right direction. No one 20 minutes video or less like this can give you all of the answers you need. But the idea here is to share with you how you can begin to walk along the path of securing yourself, building that product or services, and ensuring that the big brands will have no option than to either collaborate or buy you over. In whatever way, it becomes a win-win situation for you and the brand. Thank you very much for spending this time with me. I will be in your space tomorrow with another question that we have already gotten from some other persons. And I trust that at the end of the day, whoever has asked this question and every other person that have taken time to listen or watch this video would have gained something that could guide them going forward. But before I let you go, I just want to tell you about these products. They will help you as they are already. If you are one seeking jobs, seeking to be employed, this is the book you need. It guarantees you your dream job in 90 days. 90 days. These are not flippant promises. They are promises that are founded on long-term research and experience. Then, if funding your business is the stage you're in now, either you're needing money to start or you're needing money to expand, this is the book you need to read. Then, if you're trying to choose from all of the plethora of ideas in your head, you need to read the book for Indisputable Steps to Choosing a Profitable Business Idea. Then, if you already have validated the idea, you need to take steps that will help you take the idea to the market. So let's do this again tomorrow. I'll be coming right into your space again tomorrow. Reserve this time, 9:30 p.m. in the evening. Thank you so much, and I trust that you gain some value from this engagement. Share this video with your friends and let's do this again tomorrow.